property and money was physical. But now you can put your private keys on your brain or put it in a multi-sig. There's a million ways to do it. It's any information bearing medium can store Bitcoin.
So you spoke to gold. So gold was rare. There's the whole proof of work aspect of you get a miner to actually get it. It doesn't inflate well. It goes up at 1.5% a year or something.
It's predictable.
It's very predictable. So as long as we use gold as the underpinning for our currencies, we were safe. But somehow at some point, something happened that drove governments to say, you know what, while it was great to have, we'll create this fiat currency. We'll create this banknote, which I don't think yet by definition is really fiat currency. The banknote itself was just a note against the amount of gold that I was holding, right? Which said, I'm not going to move my gold from here to there because I live in France, you live in England, and for me to move that bar of gold from here to there, there's risk, there's cost, there's all of that stuff. So what I'm going to rather do is send you a note that says to you, you've got dibs on a shaving of my piece of gold. Effectively, it's 100 francs or whatever it is. You've got that. You can come make a claim anytime you want to take the gold from me, right? So now that was the system where we had the unit of currency linked directly to gold, right? Yes. At some point, something happened where governments decided, you know what, it's not really working out for us all that well. What was it that happened that wasn't working out so well for governments to retain that one-for-one relationship?
Well, think of it like this. So you described it well. Gold is money, was selected by a free market process that I've talked a lot about. Let's just take that for granted at this point. But it wasn't ideal money. Again, we talked about the physicality. That was a problem. In terms of it being obtainable via violence, that's clearly a problem. Also, the portability of gold, right? If I'm in France and you're over in the US and we want to do a deal, I now have to ship you physical gold across the world and take all the risk and who's going to secure it and the cost of transporting this heavy metal. Like, it doesn't work for a globalizing society. So this is a technological shortcoming of gold. And that is why, the economics of gold itself is the reason we centralize its custody into bank vaults and then put a paper warehouse receipt, is what it was called originally. You would warehouse the gold, you get a warehouse receipt saying I could take this paper to the warehouse and redeem the gold. We would then transact in these warehouse receipts as if they were as good as gold because they were intended to be. But what has this done? This technological limitation of gold has led to the centralization of its custody and introduced the human element. We now need to trust the warehouse operator, right? That he will not create more paper than his gold reserves can justify. Well, governments identify this as the biggest honeypot in the world. Like, if you have the monopoly on violence already, and you face any problem whatsoever, and money is the ultimate problem-solving technology, right? It can be used to redeem anything that humans can do. Well, what is the first thing you're going to do as the monopolist on violence? Hey, we're in a deficit. Well, how about this bank we've been guarding that has a ton of gold in it, and that they're just printing paper on top of the gold and people are transacting in it? Why don't we just have that bank issue us a loan or issue us new currency? Or why don't we just monopolize the whole thing into this legal monopoly called the central bank, and then we control it? So that has been the pattern.
But there was a move away from gold, right? There's a move away from gold.
Well, the move away from gold occurs the moment you print one more dollar than you have gold reserves. Then it becomes a fraudulent organization, because you're saying I have 100 tons of gold on deposit. The moment I issue 101 tons of receipts, I'm engaged in a pyramid scheme, effectively. If I issued all those notes into the marketplace and everyone came to redeem them at the same time, I would not have enough gold to satisfy that demand. That's the bank run. The only reason a bank run is a problem is because we introduced the gold-backed currency out of convenience, right? right? Gold was not convenient to use as money, so we abstracted it into paper. But from that convenience, we incentivized corruption. Now, all I need to do as a warehouse operator, even if the warehouse operator has a heart of gold and he's purely moral to the bone, do you think when a government official shows up with a gun in the face and says, hey, print a few more of those dollars or you and your family get it, do you think he's not going to do that? I mean, it's the physicality of the money that's been a problem. It's a problem almost as pernicious and old as the property problem, that we needed physical security and meat space to preserve the relationship between individual and asset.